a rear-end crash has occurred. Authorities are right on the other side. They're not letting us get too close. We're at the scene on 3rd Avenue where it says that a man was stabbed to death in broad daylight. And what makes this scene even scarier is that this happened right in front of a playground, right across the street right here. I'm out here at the Stony Brook Village, bringing in the holiday season, and I'm joined by Long Island's very own Elisa DiStefano. Now, you've been looking around shopping. What's your favorite thing for today?
Wait, you forgot something in my title. Expert shopper.
We have music going on over here. The music, interestingly, is synced with the lights of the Christmas tree. Just ahead of me is the Berlin Museum of Musical Instruments. Now, it's important that we're here today, not only because we are highlighting the jazz music in this city, but we're here at the source. This is where the instruments are. Storm surge breaches are nothing new to Long Island. In fact, Hurricane Sandy brought 3 of them. Now, these are usually looked at as negative as they bring in saltwater intrusion and even beach erosion. The hantavirus. Is it COVID-19 part 2? Let's see what's going on. So if you've been doom scrolling, you may have come across some news about the hantavirus. It started getting attention because a cruise ship from Argentina had several infected patients. This sent shockwaves through the media because it's giving people flashbacks to the COVID days. But let's talk about that specifically. How transmittable is the hantavirus, and is it similar to COVID? Well, the short answer is no, and that's because of how it's transmitted. Hantavirus is spread through infected rodents, like through their saliva and their waste. So for example, if an infected mouse leaves droppings in a closed, dust-prone area, that dust becomes contaminated and can cause harm to humans who inhale that dust. Now, this is different from coronavirus, which spreads through unsanitized surfaces and, more importantly, human-to-human contact. But to stay up to date, it's important to check the World Health Organization and CDC's websites. Trump passports are now a thing. Let's see what's going on. For America's 250th birthday, the president has released a special edition of U.S. passports with his face and signature featured inside of it. Now, I know you may be thinking, wait, we have never had a president's face on the inside of a passport, so why the change? And the answer is, yes, you'd be right. But this is where I bring to you the Passport Act of 1926. The Passport Act grants the State Department and the Secretary of State with the power of choosing who is eligible for passports, who gets their passports taken away, and in this case, the overall aesthetic of the passport, which is what we're seeing today. So if you plan to renew or get a new passport this summer, expect it to look a little different. 10 floors and no elevator. Rebecca on the 2nd floor says it's too much.
Some of them can't even leave their home.
This building has multiple disabled and elderly tenants, including Rebecca's mom, who is wheelchair bound.
It's just really inconvenient.
When her mother has a doctor's appointment, she says it becomes a whole ordeal.
I have to take her wheelchair down and then help her down, and it's a lot.
Kiara, who is on the 5th floor, is asthmatic, so she says the constant outages become dangerous.
It's just like I'm taking so many asthmatic pumps because of this elevator situation.
Dangerous not only for herself, but also for her 4-year-old son who has disabilities.
Just yesterday, he was crawling up the stairs, and I was just like, I can't.
We've made it to the top floor of the building, and as you can see, the elevator isn't budging. Now, we spoke to a woman who's supposed to be wheelchair bound, but due to this inconvenience, she's been forced to walk up all these flights of stairs.
The more that elevator goes down, the more I'm declining in health.
I reached out to the management company and they declined comment. From the Digital Center, I'm Miles Reese. Right now we are in the city of Berlin, and as I'm walking around I see local boutiques, thrift shops, and secondhand shops, and that is perfect for what we're going to be speaking about today. And that is how thrifting and upcycling has shaped the fashion scene in this city. So let's go and see what Berlin has to offer. If you go on your TikTok and Instagram feed, you may have seen that thrifting and upcycling has taken the fashion industry by storm. People in lots of places around the world have gained a new perspective on what it means to take something that has been worn and turning it into something entirely new, and Berlin is no exception. And this brings us to our first destination, where they have taken this concept and turned it into an aesthetic lifestyle. And here right now we're at Vintage Revival. Now this is not your average thrift store. They have many collections. They have denim, they have cool hats, they have cool shoes. They even have some business casual wear, what I like to wear. We're gonna go inside and take a peek. What makes Vintage Revival so different is that it's a boutique-like atmosphere with curated clothing options, making things easy to find. Their logic is that less clutter makes customers' shopping experience so much better. I spoke to the manager for this location, and he says that working in an environment like this only deepens his love for fashion.
I love getting inspired by our customers too, because they have such unique sense of style, and it's incredible. They give me so many inspirations, and especially here in Berlin, We get so many international people in here, which is just chef's kiss.
As I was browsing through the store, I noticed that Vintage Revival's mission to making their thrifting experience clutter-free truly is their top priority. I even got to try on some clothes myself. Bro, it actually fits perfect. This is actually so cool. At Rack and White Charity Shop, we spoke to a shopper who says thrifting is a huge part of her everyday life. And of all the cities she's thrifted in, Berlin is by far the best.
I'm here with my daughter, and we just love thrifting wherever we go and seeing how different thrifting is here than in other places. In London, we did a little in Scotland. That wasn't so good. A little bit in Paris, but this seems like a great thrifting place, honestly.
When you're in Europe, you may recognize some of the fashion capitals such as Milano or Paris. But when you're in Berlin, you're definitely going to want to keep your eye out for the fashion scene because they have so much to offer. There's so much you can find. So on your next trip, keep an eye out because you'll never know what your next best find will be.